Well, Christine, here we are.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. We're thrilled you're with us. This is the Sisters-in-Law of Attraction podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Christine.
And we're thrilled you're with us. Actually, it's no accident that you're here. I firmly believe that. We firmly believe that you were meant to find us, to join us on this incredible journey together. Both Christine and I are we geek out on this stuff. We get so high vibey about the law of attraction and the power of your own thoughts, the control that you have over your own life just merely with your tweaking your own thoughts. And what's kind of fun is this actually has been 36 years in the making. Christine and I are actually sisters-in-law. I met her when I was 15 and she was just 5. Little teeny weeny.
She's just a baby.
Just a baby. I was dating her brother at the time. Obviously older brother, because that would be totally weird. So anyhow, we really and truly have been sisters for 36 years. And I really feel like the culmination of this moment is just, it's an exciting one for us. And so we welcome you on this journey, no matter where you are at in your life, seeking to find the life that you're meant to live. Making some tweaks in your own life so that you can get all high vibey with the universe and make sure that, you manifest the things, the good things that are meant for you. So welcome. I think probably the best place to start, Christine, is with your own awakening. We're going to call it for dramatic sake. So with that, I think let's start with your awakening.
Sure. Okay, so I will, make a long life short and just say that since teenage years, I, have had some various once in a lifetime kind of traumas that not necessarily are the norm and happened during pretty formative years initially. And that kind of caused me to start living in a state of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yep. And, I can look back now after, learning some things and seeing that I was manifesting the bad all along. Just living in that state of feeling like, when's the next bad thing going to happen? Because
Sure.
this is all that I know is bad thing after bad thing. And fast forward some more time, and I am married, and we have 2 kids, and we suffered a couple miscarriages back to back, which were truly unexpected. Not that anybody ever expects it, but after 2 perfectly healthy pregnancies, we really were shocked.
Sure.
So fast forward that, and again, it's thinking, of course that happened to me. Of course that's, that was the next bad thing that was going to happen in my universe.
Right.
And fast forward again, a couple years ago, my husband and I had been working for the same company, and overnight we lost our jobs. The company folded. It turned out to that the CEOs were committing wire fraud. They had stolen from us as well as 900 other employees.
Yeah.
So that was shocking. My husband had known the CEOs for decades, and so there were just many layers of betrayal. And again, going into absolute survival mode and not knowing where to turn, just continuing to feel like life was happening to me and not feeling in control. And it brought us to that day at my mom's house, lovingly referred to as Meemaw.
Yes. My mother-in-law, your mother.
Yes. And
She summoned all of us girls to her house for cards. We call it Screwy Louie.
yes. A game we all love to hate, or hate to love. I don't know which.
Whichever it is. But I remember driving up that day and seeing you in the driveway, absolutely bawling with your other sister. And And oh, my stomach dropped. I thought, oh gosh, what happened? And so needless to say, there were a lot of tears that day. We did not get to the cards, but I remember sitting right next to you as you shared your complete, desperation, anger, fear, all the things, all the negative stuff. And I remember in my head thinking, oh my God, if she only knew that she had the power to tweak her own thoughts, that she can happen to life. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So I tell my kids all the time, easier said than done, because, oh my gosh, what happened to you was absolutely horrible. And when you are raising a family and you are working as hard as you and your husband were, it is complete devastation, and particularly because you had a level of trust, with these people. And it's sort of like, oh my gosh, if this can, what else, like you said, it was like, I'm just going to sit around then and wait for the next bad thing to happen.
Yep.
And I just remember telling you, you gotta let it go. Bless and release. You gotta let it go, because these thoughts do not serve you. And I didn't know how I was going to land, because it was kind of some tough love, and it was more, I was really struggling in my own head, because I didn't want it to come off as, oh gee golly gosh kid, just get up and wipe yourself off and you're going to be okay, because obviously it was much more deep, given your lifetime of traumatic experiences. But I really and truly feel like this you needed to hear this in this moment, because I knew you had it in you.
Well, and to your point, I think that there was something in this moment, the culmination of me being tired of wanting your mindset, but not knowing how to get it. And in that moment of you looking at me and saying, this is not serving you. You need to release it. And realizing, after the joke of a settlement that didn't come close to monetarily what we are owed, just really saying, you know what? Nobody's coming to save us. Not a single person is coming to right this part of the wrong. So stop waiting around for it. There are plenty of opportunities out there that you're ignoring because you're too worried and too upset and too angry and too, why did this have to happen to us, to realize that if I just changed my mindset a little bit to say, you know what, this did happen. It's not my fault. Yep. I just listened to this on Eddie Pinero this morning. He says, even when bad things happen, even when it's not your fault at all, you still have to own that it happened to you, and then own how you are going to proceed. Sure, exactly. It's not my fault, but I have to own it, and I have to choose how I'm going to move through life from here on out.
Right. And I think soon after, I was afraid that you were going to be super mad at me.
No way.
And
super I remember, grateful.
I remember going home and just texting you and saying, here's some resources, right? I had just read, Vex King's, Good Life, Good Vibes, Good Vibes, Good Life. And, of course, my favorite, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. She is my ultimate hero and actually saved my life over 10 years ago to get out of the lane of meh and just to do things and just to be a badass. And so anyhow, I remember sending those to you, and of course Gabby Berenstein, who you and I had talked about along several years ago. So you were already open to this conversation, and now it was just really time for you to dig in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that day was just a culmination of me being sick and tired of my own brain at that point, and just like, hey, if I can wake up and choose to worry, not that we necessarily choose to worry, but if I can wake up and find things to be worried about, I can wake up and find things to be happy about and grateful about, and find those opportunities to dig in and grow and And I think that's what this is all about. If you'd asked me 6 months ago or 8 months ago if I thought I would be starting a podcast talking about how my mindset shifted my entire life, I don't think I would have laughed at you.
Right. It goes in the lane of, you got to do big things to do big things. Right.
Yep.
And, you really should just do things that didn't just scare the crap out of you. Right. Because that's where you grow. And I think my favorite part, I mean, you and I, like, we were just vibing, like high vibey. Every time we talk, we're like, oh my gosh, and what about this? And da 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 da. And you're telling your girls about this, and they're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and just your whole energy change. And I think the my favorite part was you shared, you just became cognizant of your thoughts.
Yep.
You recognized your thought. You didn't sit in judgment of it. You're like, nope, I'm going to pay attention to that. And what if I just tweaked it a little bit? What if instead I didn't think that, I thought that? And I think I love the story, quite frankly, of something breaking in your house. I don't know, was it the air conditioning? Something expensive broke, right?
Definitely. It was definitely either the air conditioning or the leak. I picked
right,
because we've had both.
Yeah,
a lot
the leak
of them.
coming from the second floor down, dripping down into the kitchen. Super fun. But I remember you saying, like, instead of in the past, like death, doom, and destruction. Oh my God, how much is this going to cost? We've got the technician coming out, and you, instead of going to the immediate worst, it's like, number one, I'm grateful that I have somebody coming out and to look at this, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm just gonna live in the lane of gratitude right now. And he did. He came out, and it was a quick fix, and it wasn't super expensive, and and it's not. I think that's just a very small example of our everyday lives of instead of going immediately to the negative and anticipating the worst. I'm a classic codependent. I grew up in an extremely passionate family with some alcohol abuse in it, and I learned if I was just perfect, if I was perfect enough, and if I worried and anticipated everybody else's reaction, emotion, that everyone was just going to be okay if I was just perfect. So I grew up thinking, if I just thought about the worst case outcome scenario, then I'd be prepared.
Well,
right?
yeah, because then you can control it and you can prepare your emotions.
Right.
But
right. Yeah.
Joke's on us.
Joke's on us, because guess what? Control is absolutely a form of fear.
Yeah,
right. And
absolutely.
So classic codependent. And before everyone said, oh God, Sam had a horrible, because my darling mother is going to be watching or listening. She might be watching too, but she's definitely going to be listening at some point. And she's an absolute doll. She taught me the power of the human mind. Mm-hmm. She really, we are practicing Catholics. And so, I have a relationship with God, and that's always been a tool in my toolkit, if you will, on dealing with things in life. But more than that, she's very spiritual. And as you and I have talked before, Christine, it's spirituality and religion are two totally different things.
Absolutely.
And I think in doing this work, the whole spirituality piece comes in, is you understand that you're connected to something larger. Mm-hmm. There's whatever that is, source energy, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, you are connected to something larger, and it's not about you.
Right.
Right? It really isn't. And all you have to do is show up with joy and gratitude. How simple, but yet how hard.
Exactly. It's releasing all of it, doing less to do more.
Yes.
And it sounds counterintuitive. It sounds easy, but it is difficult, because unlearning however many years of thinking, of the neural pathways that you've created, of the narratives you've told yourself, you have to undo all of those.
Exactly.
And that takes work. And going back to what you had said earlier about, my first step, aside from getting the books and digging in and reading, was quite literally being aware of every thought that I had.
Yeah.
And saying anything that I said out loud, checking myself, literally saying, no, wait, that's not how I meant it. This is how I mean it. This is the inverse of what I just said. I need to make it positive.
Love it.
And to the point where my kids are laughing and joking. And I'm like, you can laugh and joke, but this is absolutely going to be how I change my mindset. And, you know, within 2 weeks, I had one of my daughters and my husband come to me and say, just you changing your mindset has helped me change mine. And it was the same day that I was reading Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. And he said, whoever in the book's story was about how he too was, you know, embarking on this journey, but then, you know, one day he's believing it and the next day he's like, oh man, I, you know, ran out of gas and I need a new car and all these things are going wrong. And then in the book, it's talking about how the universe is going to test you. And when you embark on this journey, there are going to be tests. And it was that same day that I read that our air conditioning unit went out. And it truly was like, okay, what would Vex King say? And it was, okay, no, we don't know what's wrong with it. We don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm not going to worship this problem by worrying until the guy can get out.
Worship the problem. I love that. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day, I think that's what we want to, because you know, when we talk about this stuff, we get so high vibey and it's so much fun. And when you said how your adjustment and thinking impacted your own child and your husband, that's what we want to create here on this podcast. Sisters in Law of Attraction is about building a community of people that, if you just bring your own joy and gratitude, the impact that we all can have if we just get into that lane. So I do want to go back to that fateful night. It was the birth of the podcast.
Yes.
It was a beautiful summer evening, which is very unheard of in Central California because it's hotter than hell here during the summer. But it was in July, and we went out to a local winery and we had an outdoor concert. It was Dave Matthews' cover band. And I felt it, you felt it. We were with our husbands, and you know, we sent the hunter and gatherers out for the wine and beer, whatever they were at that point. Whether they had to hunt it or gather it, whatever, we didn't care. And
we benefited. That's what really mattered.
We totally did. We totally did. And so it might have been on, you know, second bottle of wine, whatever. Don't judge us.
Yeah.
And we're just enjoying the music, and the vibes are up, and everyone around us is just happy, and it's just a great night. And I remember you turning to me and saying, oh my God, Sam, we need to do a podcast. Yeah. And I immediately said, Sisters in Law. And you said,
of Attraction.
So
in parentheses, of Attraction.
In parentheses, yeah. So anyhow, it's super fun how things just organically and naturally happened. But I do believe it was all part of our journey that led us here. So to our listeners, welcome. And we're so thrilled you're with us. And we want you to journey with us as we continue to explore and learn together. The more that we can adjust our own thinking and live in the lane of joy and gratitude, the more impact that we can make to those around us. You know, I always said the biggest gift that you can give others is your own happiness. You can't fix people. You can't make them happy, but you can fix and make yourself happy.
Yep.
Right. And it's all just very, very, you know, minor adjustments. So we are setting out on this journey together to, again, create a community of people. And we know that you're here for a reason. And we know that if you stick with us, we've got a lot more to share, because we get so fired up about this and so high vibey. So
absolutely. And I love that we are in two different kind of places in our journey. You've been at this for nearly a decade, and I've been at it, you know, still on the journey, early in the journey. But I love that even a decade in, you're still learning and growing and, you know, creating new tools and all of that. So
exactly. Well, and here's the deal. It's easy to feel good when you feel good.
Yep.
how you respond to bad things in your life, bad situations, unhappy things. How you respond actually matters. And so I look forward to digging into it. We have so much to talk about. And so, but I think we're just going to leave it here. And again, welcome to Sisters-in-Law of Attraction. I'm Sam.
And I'm Christine.
And we look forward to welcome you back next time. Bye-bye.